was DJ Wallpaper, on their tongue twister. It's always funny when, this tongue twister comes on. But yeah, anyway, you're still tuned into Culture Daily, coming to you on Free Music TV and Plus 89.9 FM. It's time for unpacking. Who are we going to be unpacking this morning? Well, he is called Ray Michael Jr., okay? He's a pack. Let me just put it that way. So we are going to unpack, literally unpack, because he's a songwriter, he's a music entrepreneur, and then also a producer, okay? He also has a magazine. We're just going to get into, the conversations. It's like a house, right? A mansion. We're going to open all the doors to Ray Michael Jr. My name is Lerny Lomotey. Let's get into the conversation. Hi, Ray.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good today.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. It's great to be here. Nice and early.
It's good to have you.
Thank
good to
you
have
so
you
much.
here. So yeah, let's start with who Ray Michael Jr. is, right? Should you be asked to describe yourself in maybe 5 words?
5
what
words.
would those be?
Do you know what? That's really interesting. Okay, Christian, so follower of Jesus.
Okay.
1. Number 2, I'm a musician. Number 3, creative. Number 4, entrepreneur. And number 5, I don't know, I'm lost now. I haven't got any more to add, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, in your journey, right? It came from somewhere, right?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, growing up and all of that, right? Which shape who you are, what you want to be, what you want to become, and all of that.
Yeah.
So take us through, how growing up for you was like when you realized that, oh, I love music so much that, I want to pursue a career in it.
In music. Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of musicians, I started in the church.
Standard.
Yeah. So my dad's a pastor in the UK. I mean, originally from Ghana.
Okay.
From here, both my parents, but they moved to the UK in, I think, the late 70s.
Okay.
My dad started pastoring a church. And, there always becomes that moment when maybe some of the musicians get upset, they leave. So my dad turned to me and my brother and said, you guys have to start playing music. So,
by fire, by force.
By fire, by force, exactly. So yeah, it started with a bit of keyboard and then the drums and stuff like that. But that's where it all started. I would say 100% in the church. And then from there, when I was around 16, 17, I went to a music college in London called the Brit School, which is a cool school. It's quite popular because we had some great graduates like Adele who went there, Jessie J, some good artists. But I went there, and at 16, a lot of artists were calling me to come and play like drums for them. People like Chris Brown, Will Smith, others.
Nice.
It was crazy. So that's where I first started just playing drums, playing keyboard. That's where it all began for me, and I fell in love. Also, I would also say, I remember watching a Michael Jackson documentary one time, and Quincy Jones was in there, and I thought, wow, that guy is really powerful, the way he's doing all that stuff. So that really inspired me to be like, yo, I could do music. Obviously, at the time, my mom and dad wanted me to be a doctor first, and then a lawyer, as a lot of parents do, but that's where it started.
Okay. All right. Now, you said something that piqued my interest. You said 100% in the church.
Yes.
When did that 100%, start becoming 50 or 70? If it ever did, I mean, when did you start moving away from, the church to doing, everything else?
I would say that everything in life is about balance. And I wouldn't put it as 100 or 50. I would just put it as I've grown up, like people have to have a job. My job became music. So in the same way you're here, I'm sure I don't know if you go to church or not, but I'll still find time to go to my local church when I'm in time. Exactly.
I go to church.
You go to church? Okay,
yeah,
great. So yeah, I wouldn't say it as 100 or 50 or not. When I'm in town, 100% I'll be there. I'll play where possible. But obviously as it being my job, and doing music, I began to kind of spend time working on other things rather than just playing. Okay. So, yeah.
All right. Now, as a music entrepreneur, you write and then you produce as well, right?
Yes.
What informed that decision? Because easily, I think that people would choose to rather be front-facing rather than just be behind the superstars.
Okay, that's a really, really good question. When I was at school, I was always very quiet. But very kind of intrigued by music and by like the technology behind it. I remember being in music tech class at school and like seeing Logic and how it worked and stuff. And then, I don't know, I was always really, like I said, Quincy Jones inspired me, and people like Timbaland and Kanye West. And I don't know, I'm a bit of a nerd, so the technical side always appealed to me more than, I don't know, being a superstar. That hasn't really been my thing. But I would say that's, like getting into tech and computers and keyboards and stuff like that, that was where my heart took me, really.
Nice. Now, you did mention Timbaland and Kanye, you know. So I would ask you, which of these people, you know, aside Timbaland and Kanye, who would you want to work with, you know, as a producer or as a songwriter?
Oh, man. Wow, that's a big question. Do you know what? A couple of years ago, I had the great opportunity to collab with Timbaland on a record, which was like a lifelong dream of mine.
Big man.
Right?
I'm sitting with a big man.
No, not even. This song didn't do that well, but it was awesome kind of seeing my name next to Timbaland. That was a lifelong dream. But producers that I would love to collab with, you know, I always dreamed of like meeting Pharrell Williams. That he was like my idol. So listen, if you...
I mean, you've done Timbaland. Pharrell is not ours. Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I love meeting different types of musicians and working with different people.
Right.
You know?
Now, as a producer and a songwriter, what do you do when the song doesn't do so well? Just because you mentioned that the song that you and Timbaland didn't do that well. Yeah,
you know what? Music is super subjective, and it's about opinions and emotions. And I think, you know, I've been kind of making music for the last 12 to 15 years, and I think the most difficult part about the music industry, I always say it's like 99 no's until you get one yes. And that's like a lot of different industries. So...
And that yes can be a big yes,
it can be a big yes.
A door opener.
It could be, but it could also be a small yes leading to a bigger yes.
Right.
So, you know, I always say to people in my experience, you know, enjoy the journey, right? Enjoy... I always used to say when I was young, I used to work in the Apple store in the UK, and I used to dream like, this is before I got signed and whatever. I used to say to my mom, you know, if I could just get paid to make music, even if it was a basic salary, I would love it. And I think a lot of people, that is their dream, and then when they start getting paid for music, they want more money, and then they want this, and they want to be able to buy a car or whatever else. But I think if you love what you do, eventually it has a way of finding you. So in answer to your question, yeah, it's tough. There's a lot of no's, but it builds up resilience, right?
Everything else comes together, right?
Exactly.
Now, you've worked with a lot of A-listers, right?
Right.
BTS, which is like the Korean group.
Yeah.
Yes, you've worked with Burna Boy.
Yes,
you've
correct.
worked with Georgia Smith, Will Smith as well, you mentioned, Black Hole, and most recently Camido, right?
Yeah.
How is your approach when you're working with artists? And then also, what do you look out for? Whether you're going to be producing for them, writing a song for them, you know, what are those specifics that make you decide that, oh, I actually want to work with this person?
It's a good question. Vibe is a big one. You know, a lot of humility is really big for me. I'll give you an example. There's an artist that it's quite big now, a guy called Central C. I don't know if you guys have him over here.
I've heard of him.
But
he's not been here yet. But one day.
But one day Central comes. Central want to see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of did his second record with us with me at my studios in London. And when he came in, he was just very unassuming, but very like sweet guy, but dedicated and passionate towards the music. And I would say all of the biggest artists that I've worked with at my studios, all of them have that same kind of passion towards their craft. And although a lot of them are very rich and famous, you know, you wouldn't get that atmosphere for them. They're very dedicated to the music. So yeah, just good vibes really is what I look for. And obviously talent, you know, something unique. I would say to new artists, it's really important for you to like make sure when you go on the radio, your record sounds like you, not like somebody else.
Right.
There's a lot of artists.
Authenticity, right?
Authenticity, yes. So when I hear your record on the radio, when you hear the Burna Boy song on the radio, you know that voice is Burna Boy.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of artists, especially new artists, which is something that they have to be kind of coaxed or taught out of is don't mimic somebody else. Create your own vibe. Right. And that's what a lot of producers, artists, people like myself are looking for.
Okay.
Something unique.
Right. Now, I already mentioned, you know, a few names that you have worked with, but yeah, I'm giving you 30 seconds. Just brag a little, right? of the people that I haven't mentioned, which other people, because I'm sure you have like a longer list.
Oh man, so BTS was one of my favorites or biggest because it came for me at a moment where my career was maybe going down, and I felt like I didn't have much more to give, and I would say God gave me that opportunity, and you know, we did multiple platinum records, and then after I built my studio, we worked with Burna Boy, J Hus, Georgia Smith, obviously Black Sheriff here in Ghana. Boy, the list is, I can't even, you know, when people tell you.
What you have to do over the top of your
Black
head.
Panther 2 soundtrack, that was awesome. Worked on that soundtrack, that was amazing. Yeah, a lot of records. At WizKid, gigs. Here in Ghana, we also had, I can't even remember, Dari, who's here with me, probably have to remind me some of the people. But
Well,
great.
that's good. That's good. That's really nice to hear, you know, with all of the people that you have mentioned. But let's talk about your SW6 studios and then Paradisus as well, which is like also your studio, right?
Yeah.
What informed your creating of those studios?
Okay, so with SW6, SW6, a lot of people ask me when they see me, especially around Ghana, what's SW6? What's SW6? It's actually not that deep. SW6 is Southwest 6th. It's a postal code in London where I live. And it's actually a really important postal code to me because it's where I had my first studio in the back of a very big complex. And by God's grace, I was able, a few years down the line, to buy that complex. And so thank you. So I called that complex SW6 Studios. And we have now eight rooms there, which is really cool. And as soon as I built that studio, I was here on holiday in Ghana, just enjoying Dirty December like the rest of us.
Which year was this?
This was 2020, I think 2020 or 2021.
2021, probably.
Probably 2021, yeah. And
because 2020, the world was on it.
Of course. So 2021, and I just, my uncle came and showed me some spaces and showed me some land in Ebri that our family had under our kind of control. And so he encouraged me, look, let's do something. And I had always dreamed of building something here in Ghana for my brothers and sisters to be able to have a pathway to be able to make records and have that same level of quality as what I have in London, studio-wise.
Okay, so we've had, you know, Paradisus. That's what's in Ibri, right?
Yes.
You've had it for maybe 2 years-ish.
About, I would say coming on 2 years.
Coming on 2 years.
Since completion, yeah.
Okay. How would you say the reception, you know, has been? You know, are you getting more people? Because it's not in Accra, right?
Of course, yeah.
The whole idea of, which I like, because there's a whole idea of, you know, everything is centralized in Accra, which shouldn't be the case, right? So being in Ibri, how has the reception been? Have you had people come in, and then also, you know, your writing comes as well?
Okay.
And then which people are you targeting, right? Are you targeting A-list, B-list, C-list, groundbreaking, breakout stars, or underground?
It's a lot of questions. That I will start with the last one. I think it's a little bit of all of what you said.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, Paradisus, it's like a bit of escapism. What's cool about it is it's in Ebri Mountains. You've got.
So I understand the escapism part because you have to go away.
You have to go away. You kind of get away from the hustle and bustle of Accra, and you go and enjoy it. It's a complex which has you know, an infinity swimming pool, a basketball court, tennis, ping pong, everything, and it's for artists to be able to go there and escape. But it's not just for A-listers. It's for up-and-coming artists. It's for new creatives, old creatives. I would say, if you find yourself being invited to Paradisus, then you're definitely on the right track. It's not commercially open, but it is invitation only. That's what I'd say at the moment. At the moment, but for the right people. So we'll always have scouts and people out there listening to talent and inviting people to come up to some of our camps.
What's that one thing that will say tickles your fancy when it comes to inviting people to come, regardless of, you know, what the scouts are doing out there? What's that one thing you are looking out for?
Definitely uniqueness and creativity.
Okay.
You know, I like it when I see people doing things outside of the box. You know, I recently saw, and I'm sure you'll help me with the name of what it was called, but I saw some guys in the village with a microphone hanging, and they were like rapping. I don't know what that's called.
I wish I knew what you were talking about. But unfortunately, I don't know what you're referring to.
Sure, fine. But I saw it on TikTok, and I was like, yo, that's really cool. Let's DM those guys and tell them to come through. But yeah, it's a bit of that. Really just creativity, uniqueness, hunger, and something different, a different voice. I'm looking for a different voice.
Okay. Now you've extended Paradisus to La Boma, Beach Afrique, right? So what also moved you to do that? Because then we have Ebri, we have Accra now. Also, are you going to open up in other regions in Ghana?
Yes. So Beach Afrique is a collaboration with one of my good friends, Meji Alabi, who is an amazing director who also worked on Black Panther 2 as well. And Joy Williams, J. Wills, who's an amazing director here. And that space, I loved it so much because it's for creatives. It's a beach club, but they do a lot of forums there. They do parties. They do different things, art for creatives. And I said to them, guys, how dope would it be if we had a studio at the beach? And yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's amazing to be able to be in a beach club and have that beautiful view of La Boma Beach, and then at the same time be in the studio and write music. So the idea was just more creative upon more creatives upon more creatives just collaborating together. I
mean, you got me smiling with all of the things that you're saying, right? But let's just delve into the magazine.
Okay,
right?
sure.
Yeah, take me through that.
Okay, so at the same time, I mean, it's been a crazy 5 years because myself and my team, everything we think of, we're just trying to do it, and I'm trying to encourage like creatives around me to just, all right, take this and move with it. And
what's the goal for the magazine?
The magazine, one of them was like, okay, so the magazine's called Collection Magazine, and the goal for it really is, again, is to highlight everything from UK all the way to Accra. Okay. Music, art, culture, and just, shout about things that we're excited about here in Ghana as well as in London. Really simple, nothing too deep. Okay. A lot of fashion. There's some incredible designers that I've met here, clothes designers here in Ghana, from Subway to obviously Free the Youth and others. And I was just so blown away by their work. I was like, yo, we would love to host you guys in our magazine and shout about what's going on there and boost what you're doing over in the UK as well as the US, where we have
so there's a sync.
Exactly.
Right. All right, great. In the next couple of years, maybe 5, 10 years, what do you envision for yourself? Also for your creative studio, for the magazine, and then for, in totality, the Ray Michael brand? Oh,
okay. So in the next couple of years, definitely I want to build more studios here in Accra, more opportunities. I'm looking at podcasting as well, because I think there's a lot of great podcasts happening, and I know people need homes for that kind of stuff. But yeah, listen, I'll be honest with you, like, I'm not super calculated. I just kind of go with where it feels right. But definitely just to create more and more opportunities, especially here in Ghana, for people to get like what I had, you know what I mean? A shot at whatever they're great at doing.
An opportunity. I'll wheel back to, the opening of other studios, because I mentioned if you're looking at opening, in other regions in Ghana, which will be your possible next?
That's a good question. I'll be honest with you, I don't have anything earmarked, so I don't commit to any specific space. A lot of people told me that Kumasi is really exciting right now, so most definitely I'll be going up there soon to take a look.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned in Kumasi, right? Yeah. We have the Asaka boys.
Yes.
I'm sure you know about them already. Would you want to work with them?
For sure, most definitely. I think I met them recently about a year ago, and it was very exciting. We met at an event in Osu. And yeah, this stuff is crazy. Like, it's exciting.
Okay. How would you describe, the music space in Ghana?
I'm still very new to it, and I'm still very much trying to learn. It's exciting, very, very excited about it. But I think what I can see is that it would be great if people would kind of work together a lot more and kind of have maybe more of an open thing. When I look at Nigeria, one thing I see they're very good at doing is collaborating and putting each other on. And I think what I'm trying to do, especially with my studios and the events we're doing, is bring people together so that we can, build Ghana a bit more and put ourselves up there.
You literally took my next question right out of my mouth, because I was going to ask about collaborations, right? Yeah. I think that, well, from where I sit, I think that sometimes it seems difficult, also based on what they've said. Some musicians say that when you're reaching out to others, it's difficult to do that and all of that. I mean, should you now come into the space fully, right? Because you said that you're still learning the ropes and all of that. What's that thing that you would do to just make sure that we churn out, as much music, and then also there are lots of collaborative works?
Well, listen, I think one thing that I've been doing a lot, and I know others like Small God and others have been doing a lot of, is writing camps. And I think what writing camps do is when you bring people together, we break bread, we laugh, we play some sports or whatever, and we make music, we develop friendships. And I think the more people can be friends and the more people can hang out and have each other's back, you'll see more collaborations.
All right. Now, talking about collaborations, I'll talk about your partnership with Warner Africa and then also Atlantic UK.
Yeah.
And then we get into your 2024 projections.
Sure. Okay, yeah. Listen, I have some great friends at Warner Music UK and most definitely Warner Africa as well. And not just Warner's at Universal, at Sony, it's just that Warners have been the first so far that have been very hungry to say, listen, Ray, how do we want to come more to Ghana, we want to do more together. So the camp that we just did at the end of last year was really exciting. It was kind of a real kind of collaboration of Atlantic Records UK coming together with some South African artists, Nigerian artists, Ghanaian artists. And yeah, it's fun. Like it was cool. When I say a partnership, it's not anything on paper. It's just a relationship, like I said before. Friendships between myself and different labels, and just saying, look, come to Ghana, try Ghana, give it a shot, see what you think. And I would say everyone that's come over so far has been blown away by the people, by the culture, by the music, by the producers. Wow. It's been crazy.
Awesome. That's nice. That's good to know. All right, now talking about shots, right? What shots are you going to be taking in 2024?
Yeah, listen, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really have an answer for you. Like, 2024, I'm still trying to feel my way through and see what's going to happen. But definitely, I'm looking at a label situation here. Okay. I would love to. I'm talking with a few different record companies about can we set up a label and a publishing arm. I'm not seeing a lot. I'm sure there are, and I hope people will educate me more. But I would like to see more publishing opportunities for producers and writers here in Ghana to be able to get their rights for their songs and to be able to get paid properly is very important. So these are things that I'm talking and trying to see what we can do to create more opportunities for people to...
That sounds good. That sounds really exciting, because then it seems to me like, that's what it is. You have, Ghana music and Ghanaian musicians on your heart. So yeah.
100%.
Thank you so much for, all of the plans that you have in store for Ghana and for Ghana music. And then we hope that you're able to achieve every one of them. Acid as you're supposed to, right? So thank you so much, Ray, and then it's been a good one. It's been a great one.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
Yes, guys, so that is how I'm going to be wrapping up on Unpacking this morning. I've been speaking to a really big man, so please put some respect on my name. He goes by the name Ray Michael Jr. You can catch the conversation on our YouTube 3 Music Networks later on in the day if you missed it from the start. Now, if you are an artist, you know how he mentioned that he's looking for authenticity, quality, and all of that. I'm sure you can also, find him, on socials. But let me just have him drop his socials so that it's easier to find him.
Sure. So you can check us out, Paradisus GH on Instagram, and you can check me personally out, Ray Michael Jr. Just Ray Michael Jr. That's it.
Okay. Ray Michael Jr. Okay, and then I hope that you are able to get into his camp one way or the other. This, like I already said, has been Unpacking. My name is Lerny Lomotey. You already know, your international radio anti-representer living in Ghana at the moment. Now.